was supposed to be on here at 11 this morning, but I figure I did two lives yesterday, and I just didn't feel like it. And so I'm doing this one because I listened to the last live that I did, and I want to bring some clarifications to the situation with Owen. First of all, yes, they murdered Owen in hopes that it would destabilize me. However, that is not the reason why they murdered Owen. They murdered Owen because they knew that Owen knew how what I thought about the abduction and murder of an 11-year-old boy named Ricky Chadek. And they knew. And I'm talking the people that I went against. Hey, Elizabeth, the people that I've gone against knew. Because that's how this all started for me. I went in to the offices of the Nebraska State Patrol and dealt with Nebraska State Patrol cold case John Pankinen and made him take my DNA. Ricky Chaddick was abducted by a man and a woman in a white Oldsmobile or a white Cadillac. That car was my grandmother's Shurter's. The Cadillac was my grandmother's Shurter's. It was my father and my stepmother who abducted, hey Susan, um, and thank you everyone, you know who you are. Um, but the commonality between Ricky Chaddick and me knowing that it was my father and stepmother who abducted Ricky Chaddick is that Nebraska State Patrolman John Pankinen wanted to put the abduction and murder of Ricky Chaddick on Neil Wingert, Owen's brother. And so there was this big push. And I know because John Pankinen was working directly with my sister Kathy, who was dating Owen, to try and get that to happen. Kathy went around and told everyone who would listen that she didn't believe Neil murdered Ricky Chaddick. But yeah, a lot of things came out about Ricky Chaddick. I'm sure they fucking did, dude. I'm sure they did. Because you guys are on top of me. That's the reason why I know you murdered Owen Wingert. And you can say whatever the fuck you want, but Neil Wingert was Ricky Chaddick's fucking stepdad. So you can say whatever the fuck you want to say, okay? They wanted to pin it on Neil, and it wasn't Neil. It was my parents. They murdered Owen because Owen was a therapist. And he knew that, well, first of all, he knew he and his mom didn't. And Kathy went around and told everybody that Owen and his mother were the ones who murdered Ricky Chaddick. While Nebraska State Patrol dude is trying to put it off on Neil Wingert, Owen's brother. And it was neither. Ricky Chaddick's family and my father and stepmother all had places up at Silver Lake, Minnesota. My father and stepmother were working with a bunch of people who were fucking trafficking kids in the area of Silver Lake, Minnesota. I've said all of this, this is written in my book. You know, Owen was my brother-in-law for 20 years. He dated my sister for 20 years. He was at my house for every holiday dinner. And then the dinners that I was just throwing in between because I was always having them over to eat. Then my sister dumped Owen to go date his best friend John because John worked for the railroad. She thought she was gonna, I don't know what the fuck, but it ended up devastating Owen, you know? And Owen and I became really super good friends because I helped him through. Me and his friend Jim helped him through. because he wouldn't have made it otherwise. My sister broke his heart. And my sister's all involved with all of this shit. She's the one who convinced everyone that our stepmother was dead for 3 fucking years until I ran into him or ran into her at the farmhouse cafe. And then this happens at 1:30 in the afternoon. That night, Kathy just out of the blue calls Owen and tells Owen that I'm crazy and that I didn't see what I saw and I didn't see who I saw. In fact, the very next day, Owen and I got into a fight over it because he tried to bring that shit up to me. And all I said to him was, "You have spoken to Kathy recently, haven't you?" And he was just like, "She called last night out of the blue." You know? My sister's been working with fucking Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. Our stepmother isn't fucking dead. Any more than I think Michael Aquino is dead. You know? The dude did not shoot himself in the head. The dude did not commit suicide. Michael Aquino was so not the type. He didn't, I don't think he's dead. I think it's bullshit. I think he's running everything like he always has. And then it goes Gabe Hoffman, who's right below Aquino. And then it's Thomas Schoenberger, who's right below Gabe. And all of little Thomas's friends. That's where Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, he kind of fits on that level. And then on the bottom level, you have Daniel Dowd and Geo Farnsworth and Tara Joyce and Sewardtown and DeFango and Corey Daniel. And this is his wife, the Sicilian witch, whatever the hell she calls herself. And the reason why they're so focused on me is because this Epstein shit ain't gonna go away. They're getting ready to fucking, they don't even want to hear from the victims they want to hear. It's all gaslighting. What our government is showing is they're the deep state. And the sad part about it is they're not even that deep because everybody can see it. All the masks are coming off. All the masks are coming off. And so all the masks are coming off. Everyone is seeing everything for the way it is, how it actually is. And the reason why Daniel Dowd and Geo Farnsworth and all those idiots are focused on me is because they're bottom of the rung. When people start getting shoved under the fucking train, they're the first ones standing, you know? And they know it. Their group eats their own. But Daniel Dowd and Geo Farnsworth should never have bragged to me that they murdered Owen, because I would have never put it together. Personally, what I think, they pumped him full of his insulin. That's what I think. I think they went in and pumped him in full of insulin, you know? And so, but it was about the Ricky Chadek case too, because Owen was a therapist, you know? He could have vouched for the things that I was saying, you know? I'm not giving anybody mod. The saddest part about it is that I'm not allowing anybody to reach out to me anymore. I'll deal with email and stuff, but there's no phone conversations. I'm not giving stuff over. I'm just not going to play that game anymore. You know, anybody who knows where I've been at in all of this situation can understand where I'm coming from. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it. And there's a fucking army of them in here trying to fuck me over. Oh, by the way, Daniel Dowd, Thomas Schoenberger, I don't know who the fuck is sending me those emails, but let me tell you something about my 1939 year built house. When I moved in, I had all the electricity brought up to code. I had to, because I had to have a licensed electrician put stuff down in the basement. So they brought it all up to code. So I'm not dealing with 1939 wiring shit. Same with the fucking plumbing. Changed everything when I moved in. So if you think that you are going to explain that it's wiring, that ain't going to fucking happen. You know? That ain't going to fucking happen. Paul Bonacci, nope. Nope. That's not you. And second of all, dude, you're not a victim in this. You're not a victim in this. You're not a victim. You victimized. You have victimized. But you haven't done shit to help this situation. And the dark is going to fucking claim your stupid ass. And there ain't not a fucking thing you can do about it. And so they are in here because this time they can't close down. People really hate the pedophile bullshit. And they're all in here as little trolls. You know, I knew I would find that at 5:30 because they don't want anyone to know. Daniel Dowd and Geo Farnsworth can fucking say whatever the fuck they want. But they bragged about being in my area when Owen died. They posted live videos on YouTube of my town. So why were they here? That's the question. Why were they here? Daniel Dowd says that the Pootie Twang account isn't his. He's not Pootie Twang. Doesn't know who this Pootie Twang is, but he's answering the emails from the Pootie Twang account that I got all those live videos. So how the fuck does that work? You know? How the fuck does that work? This shit is just ridiculous. And they're fucked. And they know they're fucked. Because people, what they're doing with this Epstein thing is just pissing people off. And it's pissing people off on every side of the aisle. And so this shit is not going to go away. It's going to gravitate and get worse. And the whole thing about it is that pedophiles aren't really liked. You know? Aren't really liked. That's how it works. And so all of this child trafficking shit is going to come out. There's no way to hide it. There's no way to hide it. And the dark is here. People aren't going crazy. They're becoming authentic. Who they actually have always been is now coming out for everyone to see. And we're watching people do just insane, psychotic, fucked up things. You know? Which is what happens when you celebrate evil and violence against other people and all of that. That's how it works. That's how it works. Why is anybody surprised? You know? They have millstones around their necks. Only they're not going to be drowned in the ocean. They're going to be drowned in the dark. You know? The pedophile bullshit is going to come down and be stopped. That's how it's going to work. And these people are full of threats, and they're going to say whatever the fuck they want to say, and they're going to just do whatever they want. You know, let me just give you, I tell you what, Daniel, top this threat. When I came back after David was murdered, I came back and Bill gave me a white towel and said it was a gift from Alan Bear. And in that towel were bone and brain fragments of David where he got his fucking head shot off. And that was the threat. So your little fucking videos and all of your little stupid shit in here to insult and think that you're actually doing stupid shit, you know, That's the kind of threats that I had when I was younger, when I was a kid. You know, I'm not threatening any of you when I tell you the darkness is about ready to claim your fucking asses. And you ain't gonna like it. And that's not a fucking threat, dickhead. That's a promise. It is a simple fact. That's how it's gonna work. Your shit is already coming out. You can't help but have that shit come out. You know? Dude, you're delusional. The Bass Man, Jeff says, I am the darkness. But see, that's the whole thing about it is that you guys are such lovers of yourselves. You have such this odd sense of superiority that your egos won't allow you to see anything less than what you demand to see. And as such, you delude yourself on in so many levels. So many levels. Like you think you're going to win this fight, you know? Because you ain't going to win this fight. You know? I think the military is run by fucking people who sit at computers and play computer games. You know? I would think, since all of you guys hate all of the people that you hate, that you would put them on the fucking front lines of any war that happened. You know? That's what should happen, right? You know? You, to follow your hateful way of thinking, put them all on the front lines and they all die. You know? That's the whole thing. Because you guys think in this Nazi evil fucking way that's leading you right into the dark. You think you are superior. You think you're actually going to win what you're facing. But you don't have a fucking clue the energy that is connected to the group that you guys have connected yourself to. Because you don't look at anything other than yourselves. You never look at the bigger picture and maybe what could be happening, you know? And that's, I fucking hated Ernest Hemingway. I thought he was long-winded and boring. Anyway, so you just don't see it. But you have already lost, dickheads. You already have lost, you know? And you're just too stupid to actually see it. And nobody can actually tell you anything about it, you know? Nobody can tell you anything, you know? All I know is that they're trying to hide this child trafficking bullshit. Aquino has all of his little minions, and Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, and the Satanic Temple, they have all their minions. And Daniel Dowd gets people to actually watch him, and he has all of his little minions, and all of that, and that's what's in here. All protecting fucking pedophiles. So when you watch it, because I'm not getting rid of anything. So when you read it and you go see it, these people are in here to fight for fucking pedophiles. That's what they're doing. They're fighting for fucking pedophiles. At the same time calling themselves victims, you know, victims. And it's really, really sad because their shit isn't even intelligent, you know? It's not intelligent. Who gives a fuck about the Epstein files now? You want to know about the Epstein case? Have them subpoena the victims. But until that fucking happens, I don't want to hear about it. You know? Because really all it is this reality television, and people are fascinated and think they're superior, following this holy grail that's an illusion. It's a glamour. That's what they call them. That's what they call their lies. They think their lies are magic because they can play on people's stupidity. But it's not magic. They have no more real power than the man behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. No power. Divine justice is here. You know? They have control on a world that's actually falling apart, you know? But this is all part of this government thing to actually, this is what the shit they do to everyone. And then they think all of their stupid shit is a reflection on me. Because they say stupid shit and are actually doing stupid shit, but that's a reflection on me, you know? That their little name calling and I'm escaped from a hospital now, you know? The whole thing about it is Daniel Dowd and Geo Farnsworth should never have bragged about murdering Owen. I would have never known that they murdered Owen Wingert had they not bragged about it. And they can do and say whatever the fuck it is they want to do and say. But there's too many people looking into all of this shit now, you know? Not to mention all kinds of people in my town are watching this now. Because people aren't stupid. People knew that there were 2 explosions in Erling. It's not like it happened in a vacuum. And so now they know that the official story is a lie. They're doing the same fucking thing. They're wondering why. Because you think you can just play all of this shit out in the open, in front of people's faces, and they're just not going to clue in. Some of them might not, but more and more and more are, you know? More and more and more are. That's the reason why when they go out to do their stupid shit, they're covering their faces up in masks and glasses. Because if they were secure in what they were doing, that wouldn't happen. They would just be out in the open. They wouldn't give a shit. That's not the case, though. You know? So, I'm not going to stay on here long. I just wanted to actually say that, you know, plus, there we go. The reason why they took out Owen was because of the Ricky Chadek case. Because my family, my father and stepmother in particular, were murdering little boys. They were abducting and murdering because dad was involved with a child trafficking ring when I was young. And he just never got over it. He was addicted to it. And he never stopped. And I have had to fight these fucking assholes all the way through. You know? All the way through. Fuck, I dealt with Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, and his Kara, Free Range Humans idiot that calls herself Skills, and Emily Thorne and all of that as they went after all these survivors. I dealt with them for a decade. So now I'm dealing with the Dead Isaac Cappy Club. That's what I call them. Is the Dead Isaac Cappy Club. And why is Isaac Cappy dead? Because he was trying to expose child trafficking. And they don't want you to focus on that. They don't want you to focus on that. They don't want you to focus on the fact of what he was involved with when he was alive. They've just made his death all this fucking chaos, and that's what they want everyone to focus on. But the reason why they murdered him and then tried to kill me 11 months later with that Erling, Iowa gas station explosion is because we were all working together to try and break apart this Nazi pedophile ring. It's not like the FBI did not bust a global, satanic, Nazi pedophile ring in New York City, 2 years ago? Type in global, satanic, Nazi pedo ring, New York City, and The Guardian in Google and see what the fuck comes up. You know? So it's not like they're unaware of this shit. And they busted that dude on a gun charge. That's how it got led. And it was a global, satanic, Nazi pedo ring that they were working online. It's not a good time to sit on the sidelines. It's not a good time. I know goddamn well I don't have 218 people in here. They're just doing whatever they can to fuck with my numbers. That's what they're doing. But again, it doesn't make any difference if I get new followers. The followers that I have, it's the quality of the people who follow me, not the quantity. That's the thing. It's the quality. And they're already well aware and watch all this shit and don't give a fuck about the numbers. I don't give a fuck about the numbers. Don't give a fuck. You know? They protect and serve. Adrenochrome is bullshit. Which one of them fucking has drank people's kids' blood and stayed young forever? Which one? Name fucking one. One. Just one. Who's been drinking fucking kids' bloods and remained, it was ageless. It was that. Because it's never fucking happened. They torture and hurt those kids because the brain releases all kinds of endorphins and pain, natural pain shit. And the more pain and suffering that they inflict on those kids, the more endorphins fill the blood. Then they do the blood ritual and they drain the blood and then they all drink it. And you want to know why they drink it? Not because they're trying to stay young, but because it's an aphrodisiac. And these people fuck everything. They can't shove enough shit up every fucking hole they have and in every hole they have. You know? Blood sacrifice is real. But they're not doing it to fucking stay young. They're doing it because it acts like an aphrodisiac. And then they fuck each other. You know how I know? Because all the fucking blood rituals that I got forced to go to when I was a kid with my dad, I got gang raped after every fucking one of them. You know? So that's what happens. And to say that it doesn't happen, you know, the whole thing about it is if your opinions dictate reality, convince yourself that gravity has no hold on you and you can fly, and then jump off a fucking tall building and see what the fuck happens to you. You know? Do you think your opinions are going to fucking save you when you're falling because you were under the opinion you could fly? You know? I didn't dream anything up, dumbass. Why would anyone fucking dream up something stupid like that? Why would I want to inflict? And the whole thing about it is you know what I'm not dreaming? This fucking army of motherfuckers who send me emails and post about me and do fucking videos all the time and all of that. That's I didn't dream up that shit. Just like I didn't dream up those fucking flyers with my address that says I'm a pedophile. The deputies hung all over fucking town. You know? Didn't fucking see that, you know? I guess I dreamt that up. Again, I am what they want to think of is that I am an amazing sorcerer because I can make everybody fall under this fucking delusion. You know? Oh my God. Can you give it up with the fucking... I'm just done. You know? I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing about it. I'm exposing the shit out of it. What do you suggest? Am I supposed to be Nancy Drew? Am I supposed to just go find these people and make a citizen's arrest? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Is that what you have fucking in mind? Or whatever it takes to actually make you think that, oh, it's okay, you know? Exactly. There are so many trolls. And the whole thing about it is that they don't want... Oh, Jesus. Nazis exist. They're proud. They're fucking proud. You know? And it is. There's a lot of trolls. There's just a lot of trolls. They send them in here now. You know? But this child trafficking shit needs to stop. But all of this shit, for me, started with the Chadek case. It all started with the Chadek case. And people can say, I am not anti-Semitic, dumbass. There's Jewish heritage in my background. I'm very proud of you, dumbass. What I'm against is fucking Nazis. That's what I'm fucking against. Imagine that. Someone who has Jewish heritage who can't fucking stand Nazis. Wow. Who could have fucking guessed that one? But I can't motherfucking stand fucking Nazis. Can't stand them at all. You know? Fascist bullshit is what's happening. That's what's happening in the fucking United States right now. And they think they've won. But there's so much shit getting ready to come down that are natural disasters that they're not going to have any fucking control over. You know? There was already a tsunami warning in Hawaii today. You know? You're goddamn right I'm against fucking Nazis. I'm against fucking Nazis. That used to be the bare fucking minimum for being an American. You know? I'm against Nazism. I'm against genocide. I'm against all that shit. I'm against fucking pedophiles. And I'm against people who would fucking fight for pedophiles, which is what a bunch of these motherfuckers are in here doing. You know? No, I have an entire life history on trafficking, dumbass. This is what I needed to say. And I don't really need to actually deal with all of this bullshit because I've already said what I needed to say. And they can say whatever the fuck they want. If you're listening to fucking strangers on the internet, you need to get a fucking clue. You know, I have a proven history in all of this. A long ass history. I was born into this. Michael Aquino was my handler till I was 10. You know? And so this child trafficking bullshit is going to stop. It's going to stop. Because I was given the grace to grow old. You're not going to be given the same. So don't worry about it. You'll die young. You know? Who the fuck knows about the PDF files? I don't even know what you're talking about. But I know that you're fucking one of them. So I'm going to put you in a timeout. There are no PDFs. I've never made a PDF in my life. Ever. You know? The evil is so over. The evil is so over. Because the fucking world is ending, dumbass. What do you think's going to happen when one of these super volcanoes go off and they're all fucking exploding everywhere else? You know? They're all exploding. If you think that saying that super volcanoes that are it is a extinction level event to have just one of them go off. You know? I'm just leaving it in here because this is the shit they're going to do. This is the shit they're going to do because they think that everyone is fucking stupid. They're hiding their pedophile bullshit, and it needs to be exposed. Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, and that Satanic Temple after-school daycare needs to be fucking looked at because everyone who's associated with it are fucking pedophiles, and that's how they're targeting the kids. Michael Aquino has run all of this shit. He's been running it since the 80s. After Presidio and McMartin and all of the shit that he was involved with. Now he's all involved. Gabe Hoffman is below him. Thomas Schoenberger's below Gabe Hoffman. Thomas Schoenberger runs Sewertown and Daniel Dowd and Corey Daniel and Geo Farnsworth and Tara Joyce. They all act like they are controlled opposition, but they're not. It's a game. He wasn't fucking cleared of shit. He was never investigated. But you go ahead and fucking argue and protect that pedophile. But he's supposed to be dead. So there's really nothing to protect. They're all in here trying to protect their fucking pedophile ring. That's all playing out for you. Fuck the Epstein files. Look at the shit that's happening right now with Maxwell going in front of Congress and all of the shit. They're not talking to any fucking victims. None of the victims. Just the fucking perps. And they're all saying that there's nothing to see. They're all going to excuse each other. And if that's what you fucking are okay with, enjoy the fucking dark. Because what's going to end up happening is they're going to keep hurting kids. That's how it's going to work. They're going to keep hurting kids. And so you can just, and if you're fucking stupid enough to buy what's being presented in front of you, you definitely are fucking sheep. You know? Oh, Jesus. I'm not, I know that Aquino was in fucking Hummel Park. I know Aquino was a bad dude. And I know that you're in here fucking arguing Aquino because I know he's still fucking alive. He's still alive. He's playing dead. He's hiding. You know? I'm glad. Let them go in their bunkers. Because when the plates fucking shift, they're going to find themselves buried alive. You know? Well, he was in his 20s when I was a kid. I'm 58. You know? One fucking thing I know goddamn well is he didn't commit suicide. He's not the type. He's not the type. Let the victims speak. That's just it. Let's hear from the victims. And let's not focus solely on the perps that are all giving themselves a free ride. Like they always have. Hasn't that how this has always worked? Every fucking one of them got a free ride. I believe in God. I believe God is here right now, and I believe we're getting ready to go into the reaping. I think we've already been in judgment. You know? I think that people have been judged. And a lot of you aren't going to like it. You aren't going to like it. You know? Victim blaming and victim shaming. I've been gay all my fucking life, dickhead. You know? They want to actually make me out to be some anti-this and anti-that. Oh, he's an anti-Semite. But I'm very proud of my Jewish heritage. You know? I'm proud of what Jews can be. You know? Do I believe that every single one of them is infallible and incapable of doing atrocious things and committing crimes? No. But I don't think there's any fucking part of humanity that absolves themselves from that. You know? What it is that they're just going to be in here fighting to protect their pedophile ring. And I am completely invested in exposing this shit. Because they want to shut everything down. That's what they do. They think their stupid insults and all of their shit is going to shut things down. And I just wanted to come on here so I could just let it play out so that everyone could see. You know? It's all about the fucking pedophile ring. It needs to be insulted. No, Shark, I'm not insulted. But it's hot in this room because it's fucking 100 degrees here. And these fucking the pedophile protection squad is working overtime. And it's exasperating. You know? It's exasperating. They play all kinds of goddamn games. And think that they actually are making a difference when really all they're showing it to everyone is that they're fucking dumbasses. You know? Fucking dumbasses. Night, people. I'll be back on, today's Tuesday? I'll be back on Thursday.